Americans. I want to bring in now Jason Lee. He's the founder and CEO of Hollywood Unlocked. Jason, good evening to you.
Hi.
Let's put up this picture of Donald Trump and Nicki Minaj. Jason, what is going on here?
I mean, obviously, we know, Donald Trump's affection to immigrants are only when he dates them or when they stick up for his bullshit. I mean, Nicki Minaj, as we know, is an immigrant, and she's not an American.
Okay, this is one of those videos people are reacting to heavy. This is the type of situation that has fans watching closely. Because just hours ago, this man was out here trying to embarrass Nicki Minaj, only for the situation to flip fast and put him in the spotlight instead. The timing alone has people talking. Before getting into the arrest and the Nico Voodoo situation hitting hard, something else came across the timeline. Someone sent me a screenshot of Kelly Rowland getting dragged online, and it immediately caught attention. Kelly Rowland was spotted liking a shady post from a page made to clown Nicki Minaj. And people noticed right away. The post had people asking, isn't this the second time Kelly Rowland has liked something shady about Nicki Minaj? And that question alone caused a lot of discussion. Now people are questioning what Kelly's issue really is. Some are saying she's feeling a type of way involving Jay-Z, or at least that's what the comments are guessing. Either way, Barbs and others have been talking nonstop about how Kelly Rowland keeps liking shady posts and comments aimed at Nicki. Honestly, this didn't come as a shock. Am I surprised by Kelly Rowland doing this? Not really. Let's be honest, did anyone actually expect something different? Her career never fully stood on its own, and people know that. Destiny's Child played a major role in her success, and that's just reality. I used to like Kelly Rowland, but once she made that first slick move toward Nicki, the support stopped there.
Americans. I want to bring in now Jason Lee. He's the founder and CEO of Hollywood Unlocked. Jason, good evening to you.
Hi.
Let's put up this picture of Donald Trump and Nicki Minaj. Jason, what is going on here?
I mean, obviously, we know, Donald Trump's affection to immigrants are only when he dates them or when they stick up for his bullshit. I mean, Nicki Minaj, as we know, is an immigrant, and she's not an American. And she's not facing deportation because her head is too far up the president's ass. I mean, this is something that is typical of Nicki. It's sad, though, that she is just selling out the culture, selling out her fans, and selling out her brand for the price we don't know, but selling it out nonetheless for Donnie is just really embarrassing to watch.
For those who missed it, she already shaded Nicki before. So when this happened again, it felt more like confirmation than anything else. Am I shocked? Number. If anything, I expect even more shade coming from Miss Tina Knowles because she's quick to throw jabs at Nicki Minaj while defending her own circle. Seeing Kelly move like this doesn't even feel like it's about Jay-Z anymore. This looks more like celebrities being performative to gain public approval. They want to look aligned with whatever side they think benefits them most. Because of that, this situation didn't surprise me. Is Nicki Minaj going to respond to Kelly Rowland? No. Does Nicki Minaj care? Also no. People online love to say Nicki cares because her peers don't mess with her anymore, but that doesn't add up. If Nicki really cared, she wouldn't be moving the way she does. She's doing what she wants, and she's unapologetic about it. Nicki does not care if certain artists don't support her anymore. She doesn't care if Ari doesn't rock with her. She doesn't care if others went silent. Let's be real. None of those people spoke up when Nicki Minaj's home was getting swatted. They stayed quiet then, and that silence said everything. Now let's talk about Jason Lee and Don Lemon. Because Shady released a video that had people reacting. Jason Lee has always been critical of Nicki Minaj, and that's nothing new. For him to say things like, the gays aren't working for Nicki Minaj anymore, came off disrespectful and unnecessary. I already addressed this on my main channel, but it needs to be talked about again. This negativity started before his arrest, and people need to be honest about that. Sitting around constantly labeling Nicki this and that just looks bitter. What makes it worse is that ever since Nicki called him out a few weeks ago, he's been spiraling publicly. That call out came after the situation in Minnesota where he did something inappropriate in a church setting. The internet tried to excuse it and make it seem acceptable, but it wasn't. Then you add another known Nicki Minaj critic, someone tied closely to industry labels and friendly with Cardi B, joining in. At that point, it starts looking coordinated. The pattern is clear, the timing is noticeable, and the energy toward Nicki has been consistent for a long time. At this point, I'm thinking people really need to go live and stop acting clueless. You could already see the hate toward Nicki Minaj building up heavy, and I was watching it happen in real time. I was holding back, looking for my next piece of information, digging into a few things quietly. There is some information I have that I'm not putting out yet. That's either for another video or later down the line. There is something major connected to Nicki's album that hasn't been fully clocked yet. That detail is still under wraps, and it's not ready to be said out loud. When it does come out, it's gonna catch people off guard. So for now, that stays put. While all of that was happening, I was on Twitter listening to Tasha K and a few others talking in spaces. These were private spaces, not public ones. While listening, I saw a pub-based post that Don Lemonhead has been arrested by federal agents in connection with the Minnesota church protest that took place earlier this month.
It's really sad when she's saying we're going to defend him or we're going to protect him. Who is the we're that she's talking about? I mean, just the fact that her wig had slipped and you can see her edges on this moment tells me that the gays have given up on her, because you know the gays are the people that get these girls together. And when I saw that wig slip, I said the gays have just stopped working with her altogether. I mean,
now that right there changed everything. People were out here saying he didn't know anything about what happened. They claimed he wasn't involved, that he was just there as a journalist. That story did not hold up. If you remember, there was a video he posted before the protest even happened where he said he was with his people. That alone raised questions. On top of that, one or two of his associates were already arrested weeks ago, a woman and a man. When that happened, it was clear he was next. This didn't come out of nowhere. The situation was already moving in that direction. And this is exactly why speaking on Nicki Minaj the way he did was a bad move. For days, he stayed locked in on Nicki, nonstop. It reached a point where it looked obsessive. Nicki Minaj was never someone he regularly talked about, but suddenly she was all he could focus on. He kept bringing up her family, bringing up her personal life, bringing up anything he thought might trigger a reaction. It felt like he was searching for attention or a response, any response at all. Instead of moving carefully, he kept pushing, and now everything is catching up all at once. I'm sitting here thinking, this man really needs a life. At some point, it crossed the line because the way he was moving started to look obsessive. The focus on Nicki Minaj was nonstop, and it didn't feel normal. I kept asking myself when authorities were finally going to step in. I didn't expect it to happen today, so when it did, that part definitely caught attention.
look, if this was the RNC and she was following Amber Rose, maybe
Jason, you are shady AF. I'm just saying. But it's true though. I noticed the same thing, but I didn't say it. I also said that coat was huge. I mean,
well, was it huge or was it snuggled? I mean, we don't know what's under there. Mass deportation of everybody black and brown, the killing of Renee Good, the killing of Alex Preddy, the standing behind the killings, the now flip-flopping on whether or not it was killings, the Christy Gnomes of it all, the Bondies of it all. If it was maybe before all of that, we would still side-eye, but be like, okay, girl, like we're over you. You know, we don't know what phase you're going through.
What made it even crazier is that just recently he was still talking about Nicki on his channel, and on that platform he shares with another known Nicki critic. And let's be clear, these people are way older than Nicki Minaj. That's not even up for debate. Jason Lee especially is much older, so watching grown people fixate on one woman like that looked strange. They spent all that time trying to clown her, trying to embarrass her, trying to act like she was the problem. And now the same person doing all that talking ends up arrested. That shift alone says a lot. People call it Annika voodoo, but really it's just what happens when you keep poking at someone while ignoring your own issues. This is exactly why people say, don't play with Nicki Minaj. Doubters have been loud on the internet for years, dragging her from every direction. But lately, more people have started defending her openly. And honestly, it's been interesting to watch that change happen in real time. I've never been someone who picked sides like that, but reality is reality. A lot of people are starting to notice how certain spaces move, how narratives get pushed, and how easily some groups follow whatever the media feeds them. There are outlets that push stories nonstop, repeat the same angles, and never question the agenda behind it. Some celebrities fall right into that pattern too. They perform for applause, say what they think sounds right, and never stand firm in real situations. They rely on headlines instead of facts and stay comfortable pretending not to see what's actually happening. At the end of the day, people are waking up to how much of this is manufactured. Whether others like it or not, Nicki Minaj has forced uncomfortable conversations, and that's why she stays a target. I'm standing on that, and I don't care who disagrees. What really stands out in all of this is how obsession hides behind commentary. When someone keeps circling the same name, the same person, the same storyline, it stops being analysis and starts looking personal. Nicki Minaj became a constant topic, not because of new music or real news, but because people knew her name would pull attention. That's how clout chasing works in real time. You poke, provoke, and repeat until you get a reaction or a viral moment.
But after watching an assassination of 2 Americans, white Americans, this ain't even black people being shot by unarmed black people being shot by police. These are just white people now, ICU nurses, people protecting their neighbors from this attack on Americans from the federal government. And for her to get up there with a bad press was, I mean, just all around bad, bad, bad.
The problem is when you stay locked in on one person while ignoring your own situation, it always backfires. That kind of tunnel vision usually means something deeper is going on behind the scenes. Like, what people also need to understand is that timing is never random. When arrests, investigations, or consequences line up right after loud behavior, it makes folks question motives. It's not about superstition or myths, it's about patterns. When someone is reckless in public, loud online, and careless with boundaries, that energy catches up. Meanwhile, Nicki Minaj stayed moving, stayed working, and stayed focused on her lane. That contrast is why the situation looks the way it does now. One side was busy talking, the other side was busy building, and history shows which one lasts longer. Another piece people are finally waking up to is how media narratives get shaped. Certain platforms repeat the same talking points, amplify the same voices, and protect the same people. Once you notice it, you can't unsee it. A lot of commentators don't report anymore, they perform. They say what keeps them safe with labels, sponsors, and industry connections. That's why they dogpile instead of investigate. Nicki Minaj disrupts that system because she doesn't need permission to speak. She says what she wants when she wants, and that makes controlled spaces uncomfortable. That discomfort is exactly why opinions are shifting. People aren't suddenly changing sides for no reason. They're noticing who stays silent when real harm happens and who only speaks when it's trendy. They're noticing who piles on versus who stands firm. Nicki Minaj doesn't have to be perfect for people to see the imbalance. She's survived too many cycles, too many smear attempts, and too many industry games to be written off. Whether people like her or not, her impact is undeniable, and moments like this remind everyone why her name still rings loud without her having to say much at all.
She was going up there to meet with Agent Orange, and she knew what was going to happen. She knew our ass was going to be here to talk about it. Why you go up in there with your wig flipping under that thing like that? Why?
You think the gays have given up?
The gays have given up. We don't even want the job no more. In a struggling economy, we're giving up doing hair for Nicki Minaj. Like what? And just took a break. You know, Don, you are out there doing the Lord's work. When you talk about Christianity, you are the Christian that of all Christians right now, where you can walk up and it isn't even living by the word of God. Love thy neighbor, right? Unless you're black or brown, Somalian or whatever. Back to Nicki. I don't know if it's mental break, if it's the allegations that she's on the Tina, that cocaine. I don't know. I just want the Nicki, the Roman Empire Nicki back.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Oh no, all of that. It's all allegedly.
At the end of the day, this whole situation is bigger than one arrest, one video, or one headline. It's about patterns that keep repeating in the industry and online spaces. Certain people build platforms off tearing others down, then act shocked when their behavior finally has consequences. They confuse being loud with being right and attention with credibility. That approach works for a while, but it always has an expiration date. Eventually, the noise catches up to the person making it. What makes Nicki Minaj different is that she has outlasted multiple cycles of criticism, reinvention, and public opinion shifts. She's been declared over more times than most artists have released albums. Yet she's still here, still charting, still dominating conversations without chasing them. That kind of longevity doesn't come from luck. It comes from resilience, strategy, and knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet. People underestimate how powerful silence can be, especially when others are busy self-destructing in public. There's also a bigger conversation about accountability that people don't like having. It's easy to point fingers at celebrities, but harder to admit when commentators, bloggers, and media personalities cross lines. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from responsibility. When commentary turns into fixation, harassment, or misinformation, it stops being harmless. The internet has blurred those boundaries for too long, and now more people are starting to recognize the damage it causes. Another thing worth noting is how public loyalty shifts when narratives fall apart. Many of the same voices that piled on suddenly go quiet when facts start to surface. They don't correct themselves, they don't apologize, they just move on to the next target. That silence is just as loud as the earlier criticism. Audiences are noticing that pattern more than ever, and it's changing who they trust and who they don't. Nicki Minaj doesn't need everyone to like her. She never has. What she has always had is a core audience that sees through the noise and understands the game being played. That connection is why attempts to isolate or cancel her never fully work. When someone has survived this long, attacks lose their shock value. At some point, people start questioning the attackers instead of the target. This moment also highlights how fragile performative outrage really is. It's loud at first, emotional and dramatic, but it fades quickly once it's tested. Real integrity shows in consistency, not in trending hashtags or selective activism. People are tired of watching outrage turn on and off depending on who's involved. They want honesty, even if it's uncomfortable. As things continue to unfold, more details will come out, more opinions will be shared, and the cycle will keep spinning. But one thing remains clear: Nicki Minaj isn't going anywhere. She doesn't have to chase relevance, because relevance keeps chasing her. The industry, the media, and online spaces have all tried different angles, and none of them have worked long-term. And in the end, this isn't about picking sides. It's about recognizing truth, patterns, and accountability. It's about understanding how power moves in quiet ways, not just loud ones. And it's about realizing that sometimes the person everyone tries to tear down ends up standing the longest simply because they refuse to fold.